What's up, Rockstars? Today I'm going to be answering 15 questions. This is a fun task that you can do alongside me. So go ahead in the comments and follow along. Let me know what your 15 questions are. Okay, disclaimer, I took this idea directly from Board Game Co. from Alex, and he took it from somewhere online, I believe he saw it. But it's a fun thing, it's something I've been planning to do for a while, and now I'm doing it, and I think you should too. Essentially, it's 15 questions around board games like, which one do you think is overhyped, and which one do you love, and there's a whole wide variety of questions, 15 to be precise, and I'm going to be answering them, but it helps kind of tell a story a little bit, maybe about your preferences. There's some stories in here I'm going to be sharing, of course. And if nothing else, it allows you to know a little bit more about me. And ideally, I get to know a little bit more about you. So I'm serious. Like in the comments below, go ahead and follow along. I think it'll be a lot of fun. And I'd be curious to see what your answers are. Definitely. I'll be reading them. Okay. So the first thing, and I just have it like in order here, the board game I don't like. Fallout the board game. I did not like Fallout the board game. I played all 5 scenarios. That's right. It comes with 5 scenarios. Hoop-de-da. They're all crap. They're all unbalanced. It was terrible. This is the one from Fantasy Flight Games. It was probably the worst board game I've ever bought and played. I did not like it at all. It was just terribly designed. It was an underbaked, underdeveloped, pretty much an uncaring cash grab. Like I said, there was whole things where I think the quote from the review I remember the most is that I would rather have everybody roll a die and cover it up with a cup, leave and play a real board game that's actually fun for 3 hours, come back, and whoever rolled highest wins. Because that's about how much you have a say in if you win or lose in that game. It's bad. Thematically bad, mechanically bad. I hear the expansion that made it co-op helps. It helps in the same way that playing a bad 4-player game, like a co-op video game, is still fun. Like you can play a garbage game, but if it's you and your buddies doing it and you're all working together to, deal with the bugs and the boss, it can be funny and you guys are laughing or whatever. Or how most movies improve with alcohol. Like, yeah, of course that makes it better, but to me it's just polishing a turd. And I did not like it. The board game I think is overhyped. Nemesis. And I know that's probably going to give me a lot of hate. I did not like Nemesis. I did a terrible review of it. Really bad, really embarrassing. Learned a lot from it, of course, but was not very good. But needless to say, did not enjoy it. It wasn't the game I had wanted it to be. It was a different kind of game that a lot of people enjoy. But to me, it ended up being more of like a sandbox style game than like a real meaty mechanical game where like me playing well will make me do better in it. That's not the case at all. It's just kind of a random shoot on what happens to you. And so again, it's kind of like, yeah, there's a story, but there's a story in there that like you made based off of the random stuff that happened to you and how you happen to react to that more than anything, which is fine. It's a legit way to make a game, just not one I'm interested in. The most underappreciated game. This is a fun one. I would say Oko Chronicles. It is a crying shame that Oko Chronicles is not like a top, in the hotness on Board Game Geek. I kid you not. It is a fun freaking game. The tutorial is definitely there to teach you. So you could, like, if you really know the game, you could abuse the tutorial mission, but otherwise it's actually really well crafted. It's a lot of fun, unique mechanics, unique style. It just oozes like greatness in everything. And the quality of components are good. It's not too expensive. Like I said, the gameplay is unique. Their campaigns are 3 to 4 missions each. So you have a whole bunch of these little mini campaigns again. You complete them. There's so much good things I could say about Oko Chronicles, and nobody seems to even want to try and play. It just is this inherently indie thing. I'm saying some of it's from Red Joker, the developers. They're just not really good at selling their games, I feel, but it's a really good game, and I feel it's definitely underappreciated. Everybody I have had play it has enjoyed it. And I've heard back from you guys who have backed it based off of my gushing over it, and you guys liked it too, so that's good. It's just a really good game. It really is. Crying shame it's not as popular as it is. All right, the board game I love. Well, this will be a recent addition, but it is Aeon Trespass Odyssey. I love Aeon Trespass Odyssey, and I would be willing to play that any day. Now, I did not choose Warhammer 40,000. I do really enjoy playing that, but I wanted to keep this more board game than like war game. Before Aeon Trespass Odyssey, I probably would have said Conan. Conan's a great one as well. Definitely a close runner-up for me. All right, the board game I should play more often. Twisted Fables, easily done. That's it. Moving on. I mean, seriously, Twisted Fables is a fantastic game. I very much enjoy it. It's just a great little deck builder that has some really neat mechanics that plays quickly, that's well done, and just there's a lot of different builds you can do in it. I have a blast with it every time I play it, and I don't play it enough. All right, the board game that got me into the hobby. I have never played Catan, right? I've never played Settlers of Catan. I haven't done any of those kind of like gateway stuff. I've never played Ticket to Ride. Those would not have got me into the hobby. They would have had me right off the hobby, just my personal taste. But I played Zombicide Prison Outbreak and fell in love. I was invited to a board game night, which sounded super boring, by the way, when I was invited from some coworkers, but I had nothing else going on in my life, and I wanted to kind of hang out with them and get to know them more. I was fairly new to the team still, so I was like, sure. So I went and I saw these giant abomination miniatures and this guy with 2 machetes and all this other kind of stuff, and I was like, this is amazing. And then we played the game, and we were in prison and had to escape, and one of us went to red when I was still in blue, and it was a disaster. And I had a ton of fun. There was laughing, there was yelling, there was hollering, there was dice being thrown, things died, and the minis looked super cool. I was in. After that, the rest is history. I now run a YouTube channel based on it. So yeah, definitely that's what got me in, and it got me in good. All right, the board game that changed my life. This is kind of fun because I don't know how many of you actually have a story for this one. If you have one, if nothing else, if you don't do all 15, let me know if there's one that did this, that matches this description. A board game that changed my life. I think a lot of people don't have a big connection with their hobby for one way or another. It could just be because it's just something casually do that's fun, which is fine. And for the most part, that is for me too. However, I would say Hate by Come On is the game that changed my life, because I was painting miniatures at the time. I was doing my stuff on YouTube doing that, and it was fine. I was enjoying it. It was small stuff, but I enjoyed what I was doing and sharing in the community that was kind of just starting to build around. I might get 3 comments on a video, stuff like that. And I would tell my wife like every hour how many views I had or how many subscribers I had, because I would get so excited if I got 1. I'm getting into board games and I'm looking at Hate, and I want to know how the game plays, and I can't find anybody talking about how the gameplay of Hate actually played. They were all talking about the theme of it and whether or not it was appropriate or not, or stuff like that. You went to BGG and that was every article. It's just should you play this game, yes or no? Like, there wasn't a lot of actual coverage on the game, especially on the campaign. So I did a Hate details video. It's my first video I did that wasn't miniature painting since I started miniature painting on this channel. And it was my first video to ever get 1,000 views, and then kept going, of course. So it was my first time I gained over 100 subs. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Definitely changed the course, the trajectory of my channel, and I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for that. When I found out that me doing the research and then sharing it with others helped other people, and that not only did it help them, but they were looking for information, and they appreciated it, and it let them make a more informed decision when it came to backing it or not. I was sold. I was smitten. That was it. The channel is now that. If I can help you guys in any way, shape, or form, I will jump at the opportunity to do that. I'm so excited. So Hate definitely changed my life. It changed my entire life outside of normal, 40-hour work. I mean, this is like, I do this for so many hours a day, and I love it. But definitely Hate. The board game that surprised me the most, this would be 6 Siege by Mythic Games. Now, I know most of you haven't experienced that, and that is not my fault. I am so sorry. I'm in the same boat as you. I paid the money and everything, okay? Like, I'm waiting along with you guys to someday maybe get 6 Siege. And I'm excited too as well, because it actually is a really fun game. And it was one I almost said no to for a review of a prototype, because it was such a different game than I had played, and I didn't think I'd like it. It's a time-based game. You have a little bit of a timer where you're going that. In fact, normally, it doesn't have to be, but normally you're using an app to do that. So I'm using an app. It's time-based, so it's like a quick thing and all that. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like that or not. And I wasn't, like, I've played the video game. I'm a Tom Clancy fan. I like the movies. I've read some of the books, right? Like, I get that, but it wasn't like something that was super drawing me in either. I had so much fun playing that game. It was just a blast just to hurry up and, put your guys there and face them this way and do this ability and all that. And then you're done. Okay, that's it. And you're trying to do it quick to save time and all that. And it's really, really cool. A lot of fun. Very much enjoyed every single moment I had with 6 Siege. So that definitely surprised me, because I almost thought I wasn't going to like it at all. The Guilty Pleasure board game. It's not really a board game. It's a card game, but Magic the Gathering. I know it's kind of not cool to give that company money. It's not cool to play something that's so toxic, and a lot of the members in the community can be toxic, but I love Magic the Gathering. I always have, ever since I was a teen. It's just, I have so much fun playing it, and I could pretty much I'm always down for a game of Magic. You can play it pretty quick. I like building themed decks that don't do well. It's just a lot of fun. All right, the next one is the board game I should have already played. Now, there are actually a few games, not many actually, but a few in my collection that I have not played. However, I'm going to actually twist this a little bit. I'm going to say Madara as this one, because I feel like I haven't played it enough. I've kind of just gotten a sampling of it. Like the tutorial. It's pretty much all I've played of it. And I definitely need more time with it. And I should really be playing it, because the way you build up a character in that game and like customize it already is super cool. And what I've read, it looks awesome. I've heard the game gets a little easy. The story is really what kind of makes it to where I haven't yet. It's just a really long time to do it. I feel like their abbreviated version's way too short, but then otherwise it's like listening for half an hour to like some okay story. Which at least now at this point in it it didn't draw me in a huge amount. It's okay. But I definitely need to get more time in it. So that's probably my biggest, box of shame, is actually just not playing that as much as I would like to. My kids enjoyed it as well. We were playing it together. We were having a lot of fun with it. It's just hasn't gone there yet. The board game I'm most excited about. This used to be in Trespass Odyssey, but it's out now. Yay, so exciting. The one I am most excited about now is definitely Celestial. I know the company has some issues, the one that's making Dimension Games, when it comes to Dawn of Madness. That has been rough. But they did great with Twisted Fables twice now. And maybe almost 3 times. They did really good with Deep Madness. I know a lot of people did enjoy that greatly, and they delivered all that and did good there. And so like, it's just Dawn of Madness that's kind of an issue. Otherwise they've been doing great, but Celestial just looks like, again, I like Warhammer 40,000. I like these kind of skirmish games. I've been showing my son, he's been getting into RTSs. And so I've been showing him stuff like StarCraft and Dawn of War and, Mythic Battles, Age of Mythology, right? All of those. And he's been really digging it. He very much liked Dawn of War, by the way. And so I've been kind of playing that a little bit. But I love these RTSs. I always have. And so to find a game that looks like it's pretty much plays like a skirmish RTS, where you have hero units and you have the little, troops that you can spawn out of the building, stuff like that. Like, love it. Yes, please. I would love to be interested in that. And of course, the minis are different than anything else I've seen. The story seems super cool. The world seems interesting. So a lot of really cool stuff going on for Celestial. Super excited for that one. All right, this next one will take me onto the internet. So we're going to share my screen here soon. This is the hot board game you have no interest in. The hot is the hotness on Board Game Geek. And let's go through this because there's more than one. So the hotness right now, Mr. President, the American presidency. That sounds boring. Barcelona, no thanks. I'll visit, I guess. Mystery of the Abbey, not drawing me in there. Especially when I see 1995, my goodness. We got World Wonders, nah. The Witcher Old World, yes, great game. Arena of the Contest, yes, great game. Also Tenaris Adventures, so they're both there, they're both great. Heat, Pedal to the Metal, no, it sounds cringy. Planet Unknown, the name sounds cool. I've seen a little bit about it. I think there's a new version of it coming out on GameFound. I'll have to see, maybe. Cyclades Legendary Edition, no, it doesn't sound cool. Arc Nova sounds cool, like I like those words. I have no idea what genre that even is, so I hear people talk about it. I need to look into it just because it sounds cool. Dune Imperium, really liked Dune Imperium, that's a fun one, yes. Earth, no. Nah. Frosthaven, if somebody wants to teach me how to play and set it up for me, I will play it. Brass Bringingham, this is one of those where I would say no, but then I'd play it and actually enjoy it. Shipwrights of the North Sea Redux, no. Spirit Island, maybe. So yeah, I don't know. I tend to like games that don't make it on the hotness. So is what it is. I apparently just like niche games. The best memory you have while playing a board game. This is easy. Fractal Beyond the Void. I even include this in my review. My son still talks about it to this day. He'll come and mention it off and on, just depending on the situation. But we were kind of playing, and we had different fleets, and I was like kind of building up a little kind of army here, but I had quite a few over here, then some abilities to be able to move others. But I was like, I'm gonna attack from this side, and so like I go and like fake out this like attack, and I lose because he was like, no, you're not. And I played it up, right? A lot of the gameplay for competitive games happens above the table, right? And like how you're egging people on, you're talking strategy, you're doing stuff like that, even though you're full of crap, right? All that kind of stuff. It's kind of like playing poker. Most of it isn't the cards, right? So same kind of thing here. So I am like pretty much building up to, I'm going to wipe you. No, and so he builds this whole army, puts it all there, stomps my army that I didn't care about losing. And I had an ability just to wipe out that entire zone and any ship on it. And so boom, got rid of his whole army, flew into his home base, won hands down, and he's screaming and hollering and throwing a fit in a fun way. And it was a blast. I had so much fun. I'm glad we had that memory together. And Fractal Beyond the Void gave it to me. So definitely a highlight in my board gaming career, really. I just really enjoyed that time. It was really good. All right, the best board game Kickstarter you've backed and how? And interesting that says and how. Hate is what I will say. And the and how is because I feel like it was probably the best deal I ever got for me. First of all, I did really enjoy the game. Obviously, my channel, it was really powerful there, but mostly it was such a crazy deal. I don't think CMON has ever had a better deal. It had so many unique sculpts, and the quality of the minis to this day are really good and hold their own. There are mini games I back nowadays that still have worse miniatures than Hate. This was a great price. They were giving away whole tribes. They were doing really good. The box is huge. All the components are upgraded and premium. It was back when instead of giving you more necessarily, they just made everything more premium. So 3D tokens and stuff like that. So it is just premium across the board. It's so much fun. And again, I don't know if I've ever actually like done better as a deal on a board game over maybe Hate. It was definitely the best deal I've gotten from CMON. It was just really good. It's like from this weird golden age of Kickstarters where, you throw in like $90 and you'd get back such amazing quality and how much you'd get back. And it was crazy. It was in today's terms, I have no idea. There's nothing else like it. Nothing else on crowdfunding is like how that used to be. And just, like I said, the detail level is the minis were so good. And there were so many unique ones. They were really focused on miniature painters, and so you only have 2 copies of each one, if even that, and some really big minis, and it was really good. Definitely, I think the best board game I've played or backed on Kickstarter from a monetary perspective. When it comes to just like the best game, like I said, I'm loving Intereste Odyssey right now. I'm having a blast. For me, it works really well. I know for a lot of people it doesn't because of rules and just various stuff like that, but I am having a blast with it, so that's really good. But I mean, there's so many that I've had that have been really good. A lot of people write off Kickstarters, at least they did for a while. Like I know Tom Vassell did and stuff like that, and I can't blame them. I know Z, I think, was probably the most outspoken when it came to, I'm not a Kickstarter, and for a lot of games that was the case, especially back then. But like Twisted Fables, it's just great, really, really good. Like I've had such a great time with that, such a well-made game. Kickstarter, right? So there's a lot of those out there now. So hard to pick just one. So I went with Hate just because of the unique situation of it being like the best CMON one I've ever done, which is kind of representative, I guess, of my Kickstarter journey as a whole. Guys, that is my 15 questions. Again, I would love to hear yours. Please let me know in the comments below. I can't wait to see what you have to say about it. Have a great rest of your day. I'll talk to you guys again very soon. Bye, guys.